If you are in the UK and you are looking to build the best PC for your budget and your needs, then you came to the right place. I'll show you the 5 best gaming PCs in the UK, where every component is compatible with each other, and on top of that, each system has an amazing level of gaming performance, which I will be talking about later on this video. I will show you the best PC for each monitor resolution, including 1080p, 1440p and 4K, and you can find the links to these systems down below in the video description with the latest pricing and availability. My name is Valentino. That being said, let's start. With the first PC, we have the best budget system. If you have under £1,000, this is definitely going to be the best PC for you. For the CPU, you get a Ryzen 5 7600, which is one of the best value CPUs in the entire market in high CPU demanding games, especially esports titles. You can expect 240 plus FPS on average, competitive settings at 1080p resolution. So if you want to play with a 240Hz 1080p monitor, this PC is going to be ideal. You can even average over 300 FPS depending on the esports shooter, and if you want to play high demanding titles, here you get one of the best graphics cards in the market for 1080p resolution ultra gaming in the Intel Arc B580. This graphics card will allow you to play any game that you want at 1080p resolution high to ultra settings with a very smooth level of gaming performance, and since you get 12 gigs of VRAM, you can also play at 1440p resolution without any issues. So whether you have a 1440p or a 1080p monitor, if you want a budget option that will deliver excellent performance, this is going to be the right system. For the rest of the components, you get 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, so you get an amazing level of streaming performance as well, and content creation performance. And then in terms of cooling, you get an aftermarket CPU cooler and excellent airflow from the case, which by the way, I love the design for this case that I chose for this system. You get a really good power supply, a 1TB SSD, and of course you get Wi-Fi included as well. The total price for this system by the time of filming is about £800, which is a really good price considering the level of performance that you are getting. If you want the best value PC build, then I recommend you getting this next PC, which is going to be ideal for 1440p ultra settings, and you can also use it for 1080p very high FPS. The reason why this PC is so amazing when it comes to 1440p resolution is because for the CPU you get a Ryzen 5 9600X, which is one of the best value CPUs in the entire market, and then alongside the CPU you get the Nvidia RTX 5070, which is one of the latest graphics cards from Nvidia. With this RTX 5070 you can expect well over 100 FPS on average when it comes to high to ultra settings in high demanding games at 1440p, and then you can expect very high frame rates at 1080p no matter the type of game. Not only that, but also you can play at 4K resolution depending on the game and depending on the settings, but you can average over 60 FPS if you want to play higher demanding games at 4K. If you plan to play at 4K resolution, I do recommend you turning on DLSS, which is the upscaler from Nvidia, for you to achieve higher frame rates at the highest resolution. Then you get a better quality case from Montech. It is an amazing looking case with plenty of airflow. I've had built some PCs before inside of this case, and let me tell you, it's amazing, and on top of that, the aesthetic is also very nice. Then in terms of esports games, you can expect 240 plus FPS on average, competitive settings at 1440p resolution, even 360 plus FPS in some esports games, so feel free to go with a 1440p, 240 or 360Hz monitor if you want to compete in esports shooters. And if you play at 1080p, feel free to go with a 360 or 500Hz 1080p monitor. Then you get Wi-Fi included, an aftermarket CPU cooler for the Ryzen 5 9600X, and on top of that you get 2TB of SSD, which is plenty of storage to install a bunch of games and programs. Of course, here you also get 32 gigs of RAM, so it's ideal for streaming and content creation alongside gaming. The total price for this PC by the time of filming is about £1200. That's why in my opinion it's the best value one, because it's not as expensive as other systems I'm about to mention, and it's also not the cheapest one, but it will allow you to play any game that you want in any resolution. Now, if you are looking for a high-end PC in the UK, I do recommend you getting this next PC, which has a Ryzen 7 9700X processor alongside the Nvidia RTX 5070 Ti graphics card. This Ryzen 7 CPU has 8 cores and it's going to be amazing for any task, whether it's gaming, content creation, or just any type of productivity work. And then the RTX 5070 Ti is one of the best graphics cards in the entire market in terms of performance, so you can expect very high frame rates at 1440p resolution in any type of game, and I'm talking about over 130 plus FPS in high demanding games high to ultra settings, and then you can also play at 4K without any issues. At 4K resolution, you can expect around 80 plus FPS on average, and I'm talking about high to ultra settings in high demanding titles. The 5070 Ti has 16 gigs of VRAM, so you will not have any issues when it comes to VRAM for both gaming and content creation. Also, the 5070 Ti is very fast when it comes to ray tracing performance, and you get DLSS, which is the best upscaler technology. So overall, you are getting a very complete graphics card instead of this very complete high-end system. For the rest of the components, you get the Lian Li LineCool 207 case, which is one of the best cases in the entire market in terms of airflow and value. Then you get a really big aftermarket CPU cooler for this Ryzen 7 processor. You get Wi-Fi included, of course, 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, and then you get 2 TB of SSD. So again, plenty of storage to install games and plenty of RAM to stream or do any type of content creation or productivity work. Now, the total price for this PC by the time of filming is around £1,600, and if you want to go a bit cheaper and have about the same level of performance overall, you can go with the RX 9070 XT, which is a graphics card from AMD that's very similar in terms of performance overall compared to the RTX 5070 Ti. Overall, it is slightly worse, but it is also cheaper, so if you end up going with the 9070 XT, at the moment the total price for this system will be around £1,540 instead of £1,600, so if you want to save around £60 and get very similar performance, you can go with an AMD graphics card. And then if money is not a thing and you just want the best performance, you want the highest PC that you can get, then I recommend you getting this next PC, which has the Ryzen 9 9950X3D, which is the fastest processor in the entire market for both gaming and content creation. And then you get the fastest graphics card in the market for both gaming and content creation in the RTX 5090. Then you get a liquid cooler, which is going to be amazing for this Ryzen 9 processor. You get 64 gigs of RAM, then you get 4 TB of SSD, which is plenty of storage for any type of use, whether you want to just install a bunch of games, have a bunch of programs, or maybe you have really big video files for you to render and edit. Then you get a Montech King 95 Pro case, which is one of the best cases overall in the entire market in terms of airflow, aesthetics, and value. And then you get a 1200 watt power supply that's A-tier rated, so everything inside of this system is very high end. Just keep in mind that the price is going to be over £4,000, so again, it's not for everyone, and I would only recommend you buying this PC if you don't care about money. In terms of gaming performance, you are getting the best performance, and I'm talking about well over 120 FPS on average at 4K resolution high to ultra settings in high demanding games, an insane level of gaming performance. And if you have around £2,000 to £3,000 to spend and you want better performance than the last system, but you definitely do not want to spend around £4,000, then I recommend you getting the RTX 5080 from Nvidia, and you will have a gaming PC as a bonus with the RTX 5080 down in the video description as well, where you can also find my personal PC help in case you want me to help you out finding the right pre-built PC or PC build for your budget and your needs. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.